I'm Julia. I raise heritage breed pigs. Started off in Vancouver, now we're in Merritt. I have a butcher shop and we distribute meat and whole animal butchery for actually quite a few farms in British Columbia. Last June I headed down to Denver for the Slow Meat Conference. This feels like this should have gone by now, but okay, well I'm just going to have a long time to talk.
Maybe you can prompt it.
Oh yeah, it's not going. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, that's the next one. There's 211 delegates from 14 countries made up of producers, butchers, thought leaders, and consumers, all there to address issues around conventional animal husbandry in the industrial system and to celebrate alternatives. The event was broken into 3 main plenary sessions: beef, chicken, and pork. And the underlying message behind the slow meat movement is better and less, which was interesting because there was a lot of controversy around this right off the bat. This isn't going, so I'm just going to go it when it needs to go. So the first panel was made up of the beef, and right off the bat there was a lot of controversy around this slow meat thing and whether or not it was really doing justice to small-scale producers to send this message that we should eat less meat, and whether it was lumping small-scale sustainable producers in with the conventional system. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a chance to address this or have any kind of conversation around it, which was disappointing to a lot of us there. On the beef panel was Nicolette von Nyman, Carolyn McCann, who's a butcher from South Africa, Gary Nobhan, an author, and Will Harris, which was one of the highlights for me, from White Oak Pastures. He had a lot of interesting insights. Particularly, he noted that raising beef 100% on grass at his farm raises his costs by about 30%, and compared to chicken, those costs are increased by 300% to raise them out on pasture. And he was noting that, you know, these small animals are just too well suited for small-scale confinement. Next, we had the chicken plenary, and the highlight of that for me was Craig Watts. He's the whistleblower, Purdue 22-year chicken farmer. So he joined us in on Skype. And his story was just heartbreaking and really compelling. I don't know if you've seen the video. If you just Google it, it's on YouTube. It's really interesting. He just talked about how Purdue had made a lot of big promises. You know, you'll be out of debt in 10 years, and then it's like clean sailing from here. And these companies like Purdue come in and completely monopolize the industry in these small rural communities. They can only sell to them, and they can only buy their inputs from them, and the company is in complete control of the whole system. And Craig was pretty fed up with this, so he invited this group to come in and film, an animal rights group, which is a pretty big step, because he said that the product is not as advertised, and the consumers are being hoodwinked, the farmers are being jerked around, and this has just gone too far, and we need to start over. And then we had the pig plenary, which was just weird. I was pretty excited about the pig plenary. There was not a single pig farmer on the panel, and there was no talk about pigs whatsoever. So, I don't know what to tell you. Pretty weird. We talked about Navajo sheep, but yeah, it was just strange. And then there was a number of breakout sessions, which were similarly disappointing. Not really as advertised, some really salesy pitches, and there just wasn't as much engagement as I had hoped. I had hoped to go down and connect, and I felt like, you know, Slow Food USA was this like motherland of, you know, answers. And it wasn't, but I learned that a lot of people down there are facing the same issues that we're facing here. That was cool. Temple Grandin's pretty amazing, just so poised, professional. That was a real highlight for me, and the takeaway from her talk, and most of her talks, is to manage what you can measure. And I liked that. I mean, she talks mostly about, you know, industrial systems, but that's something that I can take away to my small farm as well, to manage things that I can, you know, have a tangible measurement of. At the end, the last day, we broke into smaller committees, and I was on the Consumer Outreach Committee with a bunch of people from all over the world. So moving forward, we, on this committee, the goal is sharing resources and skills in order to achieve the goal of better meat less by equipping consumer audiences with the tools necessary to make educated decisions when buying meat. And I think this is really key moving forward. Met some amazing producers. This is Marina on the left, she's from the States, and Tammy on the right. And Tammy's just like Aussie me. I love her. Shit disturbing all over the place. So that was one of the highlights for sure, was meeting producers and hearing their experiences and seeing all of the commonalities from all over the world. And so moving forward, this is why I'm here. This is a problem. So don't y'all think it's great that consumers can just go to the drive-thru now and get the same products that we're producing for just like a fraction of the price? So big ag, big companies have figured out that people are starting to care about these issues, and they're co-opting our language, and I'm getting pretty fed up with it. This is a shiny new sticker funded by the BC Buy Local program from my local pork producer that I can't talk about because they also slaughter my pigs. There is nothing ethical about the way these pigs are raised. And this is in one of our local hippy-dippy organic grocery stores. I showed this label to one of my customers and said, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh, it's from Choices. They're like Whole Foods. Everything there is good, right? So when I told them, they were horrified. So these are consumers that are going out of their way to try to do the right thing. They're trying to make conscious decisions, and this is nothing short of fraud. These customers are being lied to. Cache Creek Beef. So Two Rivers is a big distributor in Vancouver. They work with a lot of restaurants, and this is their, their signature product. It's Cache Creek Beef. And a consumer might be forgiven for thinking that this was, pasture-raised, 100% grass-fed beef, looking at the pretty pictures and reading the descriptions of no hormones, steroids, antibiotics, healthy animals, healthy feed, blah, 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 happy, happy. But if you even just go to the Cache Creek website, they say right there that these animals are shipped to Alberta to be finished and slaughtered, because southern Alberta is close to the grain supply and huge feedlots and massive processing plants to achieve maximum economic efficiencies. I don't think that's what the consumer's expecting when they are choosing this beef. Or how about the chicken? Look at these happy chickens out in the pasture. Chickens have never seen a blade of grass a day in their lives. If you go to the farm's website, again, why do we have pictures of chickens on grass? I mean, if it's so great to raise them in barns, why not just have a picture of the barn? So I get really upset when I just want to look at my own pigs for a little while, so I just put a couple of gratuitous slots on my pigs. Here's my happy pigs. I'm a little unorganized. I just moved my pigs in on Tuesday. I'm living out of a garbage bag off the grid right now so that I can do this right. And, oh come on, it's the best one. There we go. The end. So that's pretty much the end of my presentation, but what I want from you is I need help. I am the Slow Meat Committee. It would be, you in? Okay, excellent. So please, when we do the breakout sessions later, please come see me. I need help with this. My vision is to have a team of producers and consumers working together to celebrate and change our system to embrace the philosophies of slow food in a way that allows producers like me to do their job and raise these animals in a way that does right by the animals and does right by my customers and allows me to earn a living, a reasonable living. But I need to hide behind the protection of a group of consumers that I can feed this information to, that beef farmers, people that know more about other things than I do, can feed information to, so that we can have a little bit of protection to be able to speak out about these sorts of issues without risking losing our only processing facility, and to help get the information and out there to these consumers that want this information. And I don't want another label, I don't want more regulation, I just want people to understand the basic physiological and emotional needs of a chicken so that they can look at a package and ask the right questions. It's not hard. I just want to give the consumers the information that they need to do what they're trying to do anyway, and I really hope you'll join me in that. Thank you.
Wow.